Yo, what's up, guys? It's Talon, and today we're going to be kind of talking about mental and about recent loss streak that we've had on the solo queue to Sovereign push. I think we're currently around 33 or 34 marks. We've been not gaining as much as we gained in the start of the season. We're about 58.5 to 59% win rate. We were like 50 or like, over 60 by the time we got to Master, and I think we ended, like hitting Grandmaster with about 59 or 60% win rate. So we've had kind of more losses lately, and a lot of it has been partially due to my teammates. But I want to talk about more so mental than talking about like teammates or like things like that. And so we're going to be using this game to kind of exemplify sort of why mental is really important. So at this point, I think I was 1-5 in my total games at this point in the season, or at this point in the stream, rather. I played against the same jungler, Valhalla. He's been ranked 1 on the server many times. We lost 3 games in a row to him the last 3 games. We're playing against him again. He's the Riv in this game. He's very good. And I think he's duo with, I think the Pyke. Not 100% sure. But basically what happens, start of the game, we push to the first wave, we go to ward, and all of a sudden, instant first blood, our Caitlyn immediately dies. After being on an annoying loss streak, a lot of people have this type of thing happen. They get really tilted, they get really annoyed, and they kind of don't do a great job of sort of figuring out what they can do from this point. And so I kind of want to talk about what I'm doing in a situation like this. So the first thing is I'm trying to see if I can cancel a recall. If my teammate ends up inting, oftentimes the enemy overstay and you can stop the recall, so I tried to do that on Pyke. It didn't work. So at that point, we now just are going to try to push the wave. Also, quick thing I want to mention, I'm having to play autofill a lot more because I can't get games queuing mid lane whenever I'm guaranteed mid lane. I can't get games because I'm Grandmaster solo queue right now, and at this point in the season, you basically can't find games Grandmaster solo queue if you're guaranteed mid lane. So we're playing autofill, so you might see me play more other roles as well. But here, we realize Caitlyn kind of sucks. We see that we have an opportunity where the enemy are being really aggressive, and so we go with our team to try to help create a 3v4 scenario. And even when we're doing this, because the enemy are such stronger early game champions than us, we get no value from it. We still get invaded, even though I'm here, and again, we're in a 4v3, but because of the fact that our team is so weak, and again, not playing very well, plus late game champions with Cassidy and Kayle, pretty bad early game lanes, they get screwed over. So now our Caitlyn already ran it down and died randomly for no reason. She's getting pushed further now because we decided to roam to try to see if we could find an advantage elsewhere and stop the invade. And so basically, we're losing on all parts of the map. Games going horrible. Lost multiple games in a row. And I've had a lot of people in my streams kind of talking about, like, they get really tilted during these scenarios, or they'll straight up even sometimes int on purpose, or they'll flame their team in chat, or they'll do these other things. But even when we're in this scenario, we still have a lot we can do. So the first thing we can do is realize our win conditions of the game. So like in a game like this, and again, even you see it kind of annoying Lee Sin flashing and then missing it there. But kind of the first thing that you're trying to pay attention to in a game like this is what win condition you do have. Like, there's going to be a lot of things going wrong in these types of games when you're tilted, whatever, and you're probably going to lose. That's just the reality. A lot of times, when you're on a loss streak, a lot of things are out of your control. But you can focus on the things that are potentially winnable. So in this game, for example, we have teammates not doing well. We don't really have anyone who looks very strong. Everyone's losing lane. But what we do have is 2 really, really strong scaling champions. Because of the fact that we have 2 strong scaling champions, we always know there's a chance of winning just because of those 2 champions. If the enemy make one dumb mistake, they do one dumb thing, all of a sudden we can win the game. So that's kind of what we're looking for right now. I'm mostly just trying to survive the early game, get through that in whatever way I can, and then hope that, again, just one mistake by the enemy can lead to pretty much the entire game being completely fine. Currently, we have our Cassidy down 500 gold. Kayle's roughly even. Jungle's roughly even. We can't see the jungler, so we don't know exactly how much gold they have. And then we're down a lot in bot lane. So it's not like the game is at the end of, it's like not over or anything like that. The enemy are a lot more early game focused. We have a lot more late game. So we still have a lot of ways to win. And so kind of focusing on that rather than focusing on all of the ways our teammates are dying is how I'm sort of able to get through these annoying games. And what's really important about solo queue and about kind of having a good mindset in solo queue is you feel a lot less bad if you end off on a couple wins after having a really tilting day compared to if you just keep the losing streak going. So for example, this game and then my next game are my last 2 games of the day. I could either end those games continuing to be tilted, getting more mad from my previous games, letting those games affect me, or I could end the day winning those games, or at least doing well in those games and being like, more positive about kind of everything, even if they're really frustrating games and a lot of frustrating things have happened. And this has kind of been the story of a lot of my last couple days. I have a lot of tilting games and lose streaks and whatever, but then after those tilting games or the lose streaks or that type of thing, it's not like I'm going -5 games and losing every single game in a day. I'm usually having a loss streak at like say 3-4 game loss streak. Then I win a couple games, and at the end of the day, it's not like I'm losing a lot of marks, and I'm even often still gaining a mark or two. I'm just not climbing as fast as, you know, like early season I'd climbed. But like the difference between going -1 game or going even versus going like -3 or -4 is usually something that even carries over into the next day, and squeezing out like those extra 1 or 2 wins a day is really important and usually can be due to good mental. Like I would say probably, let's say every 10 games, I would say 1 game, the outcome can probably be changed through good mental. And so that's kind of, again, just the main thing I want to mention in this video, in this game. Just talk about good mental, because I know every once in a while we need kind of a reminder when we're on a lose streak or games are going bad. Just focusing on what you can control is important. And so even in this scenario now, to talk a bit more about the actual gameplay itself rather than just the mental part of it. At this part in the game, we realize we're a late game champ or a late game comp. We need to somehow get our team to the late game, try to find a way to salvage it and to kind of stop the enemy from snowballing too hard. So because of this, I know the enemy are probably trading objectives because I see that the jungler is not contesting here. So I pretty much know for sure their jungler is currently on Herald, almost 100% guarantee. I see that 2 people are topside. You know, I know that they're probably going to look to dive. My teammate, we even go back a little further. When I'm coming out of base, you can see Set trading really hard with the Kassadin under turret. And so I look there and I realize, okay, I'm probably going to need to go there or else they're going to dive. And so what this does is it protects my teammate, who is, again, one of my win conditions, Kassadin and Kayle, and it lets them get to a point where they can actually get to the late game. You see here, Diana and Pyke were going to dive this Kassadin, but because I come there, now it's a lot more difficult. Set thinks the dive's happening because he's an idiot for some reason, ends up dying for no reason, and our rotation, where again, we knew the enemy jungle was there, alleviates a lot of pressure from our top side, makes sure that we don't lose that turret, don't have our Kassadin get dove, and now we're at least stopping some amount of kind of, you know, negative things happening to our teammate. And then again, because we're in this position, even though he ends up dying, they end up trying to chase me here, and then we end up getting the nice little outplay on the Riven here to then get a kill, and again, just make it so that their lead is not too large. And so again, even though I'm having really tilting games, I'm getting really annoyed, I'm still thinking about the win conditions. You're going to see Pyke ends up dying in a second as well here. I'm still thinking about the win conditions. I'm thinking about the way we can approach the game to possibly win, and because of that, we're in a position where now the game is not good. We're still down a lot of gold, even though we're up a kill, but we're not to the point that we can't win. And so again, I'm just trying to go wherever I can to stop the bleeding. That means I'm going to help Caitlyn quickly push out this lane, and then I'm just going to play to kind of protect my teammates if I can. Here, Riven showed up, and again, I'm skipping through because I'm mostly just talking about the macro of this. I'm not really going into the details of this specific game because we're more focused on the mental and kind of what to do in these frustrating games. And so again, we're just trying to find whatever kind of weak point we have, protect them, try to stall out the game as much as possible, and mostly just keep focusing on that. And so I'm just going to kind of constantly be identifying wherever it is I need to go to protect someone. So in this case, for example, I realize I need to quickly help my teammate push out the lane, and then I can potentially recall. Here we get into a bit of a fight, and then there ends up being a lot more where we end up getting dove and dying. And so even, you know, sometimes it's not going to work out perfectly. But what this ends up doing, you see 2 people are 1 HP. So it was very close to actually working out for us, even when they committed more numbers, 3v2. And we were again protecting kind of, you know, that weaker point of the map. And then my teammates get an advantage on top side, which is often what will still happen if you have that numbers advantage on a certain side of the map. And so again, could have played that better on the bottom side. But at least finding some type of advantage through, again, just protecting our teammates, trying to play around those win conditions, trying to stop the bleeding so that we have a chance to win. Again, like at this point, the game is still looking bad, but we always know we have a chance to win just because of these things we're doing. We're down 4k gold, but like being down 4k gold with Kassadin and Kayle, it's not like you can't win. And so again, here, I'm just trying to protect this Kassadin, and I'm playing around this top side of the map. And in the dragon is spawning on bottom side, and instead of playing around dragon, I'm playing around the top side, where I know we can actually possibly get a numbers advantage and find some type of lead, which again is what we do. We play around our strong points, and so we're just constantly kind of, again, trying to avoid the enemy, trying to stop the bleeding, trying to protect our teammates. If they're going to go, I'm trying to get my teammates to go topside here, but it doesn't really, they don't really follow all of them, but we still get a couple teammates coming here, but definitely not an ideal scenario. And so you can still see, like, it's not like everything has to go perfect for you to even be in a position where it's okay. The main goal, again, is like, your goal is either protect your teammates from getting over aggressed on or from getting dove or that type of thing, or go on the opposite side of the map when you know the enemy are going to be distracted. So again, in like a dragon scenario, for example, I know they're going to be distracted. It gives me some time to possibly squeeze some amount of gold for my teammates. And so even though a teammate died there, we got a lot on the top side. We killed someone. We got turret. and we're still in okay spot. And then again, we're just trying to use our lantern to kind of peel and protect our teammates at this point. And so by no means are we in like a great spot, but we're in a spot where it's possible to win, which again, that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to squeeze those extra 1 or 2 or 3 wins out of solo queue games, because again, if I play 100 games and I win 3 more games than you win, that already ups my win rate by 3%. Like, that is a pretty significant amount. Well, actually, it would up it by 6%, would it not? Because if you win, if I win, no, yeah, it would up it by 3%. Math is hard sometimes. But like, if I win 53 and 47 and you went 50 and 50, you're 50% win rate, I'm 53. That's a lot more effective. It's much better win rate. Because like, again, if you look at 53 versus 50% win rate, very different in terms of like how people view a 50% win rate versus 53. But it's only 3 games, which again can be won by mental or by these other things like this. And then again, we know that the enemy are potentially going to be trying to catch our teammate out on side lane, so we want to make sure we give our teammate a position to get some type of gold here, farm, so then again, we just don't fall too far behind. And so we know their jungler is making a play topside. We know that the enemy are probably stacking more numbers topside. And because of that, I want to play around, again, the numbers advantage that we have, so we can just let our teammates scale up and potentially be in a position to play the game fine. And then you see here, Diana would have definitely killed my Caitlyn otherwise. Honestly, I went too aggressive here, though. I did put my Caitlyn in a bad spot, so she does end up dying. But we're at least able to trade here. And because we're able to trade, we're at least able to get ourselves some amount of gold bot side. We do end up getting caught out here, though. So definitely not an ideal play by me. Big mistake, really, for me, was mainly the fact that I tried to go aggressive on Diana instead of just trying to protect. If I was just trying to protect Diana and nothing else, I would have been completely fine. But again, it's not the end of the world, because what ends up happening out of this scenario, and that you're going to see this is kind of going to be the spot where we end up winning the game off of, is basically the enemy try to force Baron because they saw that one of us are dead. And then again, my team is strong enough. We got to this point where the enemy aren't completely stomping us or anything. The enemy make one dumb mistake here. They start a Baron when our jungler is alive, because again, people do this frequently. Like, this is literally a multiple time rank 1 jungler is the Riven starting that, and they end up flipping that and losing the game basically off of this play. Like, it's essentially one play. And again, all of the things that we did, if we hadn't done what we had done, which was like protecting our Kassadin top side, making the play opposite side of second dragon so that our team could find some type of gold and kind of come back a little bit, even protecting our Caitlyn there, so at least the Diana died, so it wasn't just like only one person, you know, just our teammate died. All of these different things lead to us being in a position where there's a chance at us winning this game. And again, you're still going to lose probably 80% of the games that are in this state regardless, but you're going to lose 100% of them if you're not doing these certain things I'm talking about, which gives you the opportunity to catch a throw. And all of a sudden, the enemy start completely falling apart. We're only down 3k, and we're a very good scaling team. Again, we have Rod of Ages on 2 different champions, and it's a Kayle and a Kassadin, so like those champions are scaling up very, very nicely. And that's really the main kind of thing we're focusing on, because again, this day I went 3 and 5 in games, and 2 of those games we were down over 5,000 gold at some point in the game and came back. Had I not had these proper things, you know, to come back in games and to you know, play to come back and to have good mental and that type of thing, I would have been 1 and 7 in games, and maybe even 1 and 8, because the only game I won that I wasn't behind was my last game, and maybe I would have been more tilted if I didn't win those couple games. So it also kind of helps out your mental, kind of helps all those things. And then you just see we slowly just use the fact that we got the Baron to snowball. We have complete control over the map now at this point. We're able to pretty much just win every fight from here on out, just because we are out at this point outscaled so or we've outscaled the enemy so heavily. And so you see it's really straightforward now. We're just pretty much following our team around towards objectives, protecting our teammates when they need, and pretty much everything is straightforward from here, which again, I'm not actually showing the entire game, because that's again not really the point of this video. The point of this video is just to talk about how mental has really led to me having still, even on these certain loss streak days, still having a good win rate, still climbing consistently. I'm getting up to, like I said, I think I'm Grandmaster 34 marks or something. Whereas again, a lot of people, they'll have these huge loss streaks. Like, the amount of times I'll read a viewer tell me that they went from like Diamond 4 to Emerald 2 in a day, or Master 13 marks to 0 marks in a day, or like these types of things. They happen very frequently, and a lot of it is due to these types of kind of mental things where it's like you lose the games where you play really, really well, and then you get tilted from the fact that you played really well and you lost, and then you play a game that was, your team was maybe slightly worse than the enemy, but still decent. And and then you don't play well enough to carry that team that was carryable because you were tilted from the game before, and then you get even more tilted, and then now you play a game where you have a really good team, but you're so tilted at that point that you are the one now inting the game. Like, this is 100% something that happens. I mean, I still do it sometimes too. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not immune to it, but these types of things are definitely things that happen and that kind of lead to a lot of losses. And that's really what adds up in solo queue, more than even just being a good player. Like, almost as important, if not more important, is just having good mental, and that's why I kind of wanted to make a video. I know I was just kind of rambling here, kind of just making a quick video. Didn't have a lot of time before I end up having to go somewhere for a second. Kind of lost my train of thought there. It's also really hot in my room because for some reason it's like 80 degrees in Minnesota, which I don't like. But yeah, my brain doesn't work super well. So basically just rambling about why good mental is important for you guys and kind of showing you guys sort of an example of a game where we come back. And this has kind of been the story again of a lot of my ranked games recently, these types of comebacks that lead to me at least not, you know, losing every game in the day. And then having other days where we win a lot because we just have good streaks, and kind of just leads to stuff like this where, again, the marks are not lost too much. We're still in a decent spot. I can't really find games solo queue right now, as I said, if I'm queuing mid lane, so we're queuing a lot more autofill. Hopefully soon I can just queue mid lane again because I definitely like playing mid lane a lot more. But for now we're playing autofill, so we're playing some more support, playing top lane a lot more. Those are kind of the roles I get a lot in autofill. I'm trying to see what rank I was at the time of this game. It looks like I was 32 marks after this game. So yeah, that was really all. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.